Welcome to Missing Persons Archives, a channel dedicated to sharing real stories of those who vanished without a trace. Here we explore the facts, the timelines, the investigations, and the unanswered questions behind each disappearance. These are more than cases, they are people, and every story deserves to be told. Subscribe and join us as we shine a light on the missing. They ventured into the wilderness and never came back. Despite search parties, trained dogs, helicopters, and the latest technology, these men vanished without a trace. Their names echo in the silence of the forests they loved. Today, we explore 6 chilling cases of hunters who disappeared under mysterious and often bizarre circumstances. Dale Banker, Chimney Rock, Colorado. 59-year-old Dale Banker was no novice when it came to the outdoors. A Denver native and avid hunter, he was the type of man who planned meticulously before heading into the wild. So when he went missing in October of 2007, it sent shockwaves through his community. Dale's last known location was the Chimney Rock area in western Grand County, Colorado. It was an area known for its rugged beauty and, according to locals, its supernatural reputation. Whispers of ghosts and strange happenings surrounded Chimney Rock, but Dale wasn't the type to be spooked by stories. He parked his vehicle along Forest Service Road 103, locked it, and headed out. Days later, other hunters discovered the vehicle untouched. Inside were his guns, camping gear, and personal belongings. It was as if Dale had planned to return at any moment, but never did. Witnesses claimed to have seen Dale sitting inside his vehicle on the afternoon of October 21st. That night, a heavy snowfall blanketed the area. Investigators from Colorado Parks and Wildlife conducted a search, assuming Dale had the skills to survive, but they found no tracks in the snow. No signs that he'd returned to the vehicle. No evidence of where he'd gone. Park officers, limited in their capabilities, passed the case to the Grand County Sheriff's Office. They visited Dale's home and spoke to his friends, but no one had seen or heard from him. A week later, a coordinated manhunt began. Search dogs, volunteers, helicopters, but the forest gave nothing back. In 2018, more than a decade later, a rancher discovered personal belongings, a skull, and human remains near Carter Mountain, nearly 19 miles from where Dale's truck was found. Authorities suspected they might belong to Dale, but to this day, that has not been officially confirmed. Eric Smith, Cedar Bluff, Virginia. Eric Smith was a family man through and through. A respected supervisor at Consol Energy, he oversaw more than 500 employees and was known for his integrity and dedication. On November 8, 2013, Eric left his home in Cedar Bluff, Virginia, to go hunting on his own property. He told no one where exactly he would be. Oddly, Eric left behind 2 things he always carried: his cell phone and cigarettes. His mother, who lived with him, thought this strange. She expected him back quickly, but he never returned. When Eric didn't show up for work the next morning, concern turned to panic. Friends and neighbors, all aware of Eric's dependable nature, knew something was wrong. A search was launched immediately. Authorities combed through his home and the surrounding property. There was no sign of struggle, no evidence of foul play, and no trace of Eric. His family offered a $20,000 reward. Rumors swirled. Was it an accident? Did he encounter something or someone in the woods? To this day, not a single piece of evidence has surfaced. No bones, no belongings. Eric Smith simply vanished. Tom Messik, Lake George, Wild Forest, New York. At 82 years old, Tom Messik had no plans to slow down. A retired paratrooper from the 82nd Airborne, Tom was still passionate about the outdoors. Despite partial blindness, hearing loss, and other injuries, he continued to hunt, teach survival skills, and enjoy the wilderness. On November 15, 2015, Tom went with 6 friends to Lake George Wild Forest. Because of his age and physical limitations, Tom stayed in one spot while the others attempted to push deer in his direction. They had a rendezvous point, but when the others returned, Tom was gone. He had been wearing camo pants, duck boots, a checkered hat, and carried a rifle and walkie-talkie. But there was no sign of him. Nothing had been disturbed. No equipment was left behind. A massive search effort ensued. More than a dozen search and rescue professionals, the New York State Police, FBI, and other law enforcement agencies combed the area. Search dogs, helicopters, and hundreds of volunteers joined the mission, but there were no footprints, no dropped gear, not even a scent trail. A fellow hunter later reported hearing strange, unidentifiable sounds in the woods that day. The witness described the noise as neither animal nor human and said law enforcement dismissed the report. Some believe Tom was the victim of a tragic accident. Others insist something far stranger happened. Nearly a decade later, there are still no answers. Lodger Bellinger, Washington, Maine. In 1975, 25-year-old Lodger Bellinger set off to hunt late-season deer before driving his wife to work. The snow had fallen the night before, and the roads were dangerous, but Lodger promised he wouldn't be long. When he didn't return that morning, or the entire day, his wife and relatives went out to search. They found a few tracks that might have belonged to him, but no real sign he'd ever made it to the hunting grounds. Eventually, they called in game wardens and Maine State Police. During the search, someone led them to a stream near an access road. There, investigators found evidence that a deer had been dragged, possibly by Lodger. They also found a crumpled receipt that linked 2 men to the scene. One had died shortly after Lodger went missing. The other, Danny Collins Jr., was still alive and living in Maine. It's been reported, but never confirmed, that Collins confessed to picking up Lodger and, while high, shooting and killing him in the vehicle. Police searched the car. The interior had been cleaned. The back seat was replaced. Deer hair was found in the trunk, though neither man was known to hunt. Despite this damning circumstantial evidence, no arrests were ever made. Lodger Bellinger's body was never found, and the case remains officially unsolved. Shaun Higgins, Shasta Costa Drainage, Oregon. On October 14, 2016, Shaun Higgins, his son Trevor, and brother-in-law Chandler set out to hunt black-tailed deer near Bear Camp, Oregon. It was a familiar area. The trio had been there many times before. Shaun, a confident outdoorsman, chose to go without his GPS or backpack. He left them in the truck with Trevor, who stayed behind while the others ventured into the woods. But nightfall came, and Shaun never returned. A storm loomed. Chandler and Trevor split up to search, but then Trevor got lost too. Chandler called for help. The Curry County Sheriff's Office launched a massive search. Drones, helicopters, canine units, all were deployed. Trevor was found suffering from hypothermia and rushed to the hospital. Shaun was never found. His wife Stephanie and their sons returned repeatedly to search the area. Despite exhaustive efforts, not a single trace of Shaun Higgins has ever been located. If you have any information about any of these cases, please contact the local authorities listed in the video description. Even the smallest tip could lead to answers. What do you think happened to these men? Are these tragic accidents, crimes, or something even stranger? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, sometimes the forest keeps its secrets. This is Missing Persons Archives. Thank you for watching.